Hello everyone. Tonight we're going to do another cooking video. And what's on the menu tonight is going to be smothered pork steaks with homemade jalapeno rice and sweet peas for vegetable. Anybody watching this video or who watches our channel, please give our videos a thumbs up if you can. Please like our videos. If you're able to, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel is free. Liking and thumbs up is free. And if you are able to, please support the channel if you can. There'll be a link in the description box. The ingredients for this is, in this bowl, it's like a cup of flour. Here you have some pork steaks that I cut in half. Jasmine rice. Chopped up red onions. Jalapeno peppers. Imperial butter. Minced garlic. Perfect pinch Cajun seasoning. Creole seasoning, and slap your mama. It tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama seasoning. Black pepper, table blend, Mrs. Dash, some canola oil, and a can of sweet peas. I got to get some things arranged and I'll be back. I'm back, or shall I say we're back. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some seasonings on these pork steaks. That perfect peach Cajun. Put some black pepper in there. Put some of that Creole seasoning in there. Put some of that slap your mama. And some of that table blend, Mrs. Dash. Throw some of that in there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to work this meat around. Yes, my hands are clean. I wash my hands probably about 100 times a day. So just so everybody knows, my hands are clean. I'm going to work these seasonings into each other. So I make sure that everything gets well coated. After I get done mixing up this meat and coating it up, I'll get back with you. We're back. The next thing I'm going to do is the same thing that I seasoned those pork steaks with. I'm going to put some seasoning, and this is like a cup of flour that's in this Tupperware bowl. I'm going to add me some of that slap your mama. Add some of that Creole seasoning. I'm going to add some of that perfect pitch Cajun. Black pepper. And that Mrs. Dash table blend. Excuse me. Then I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to thoroughly mix this till it gets mixed in with the flour. We'll get back to you with the next step. We're back. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to make this homemade jalapeno rice, and I took that jasmine rice, and I always rinse my rice. I rinse it a couple of times so I can try to get as much starch off of it as possible. I'm going to add that into the pan. This is 1 cup of rice. 1 cup of jasmine rice. You can use any type of rice that you like, but this is jasmine rice. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get me, like I said, it was 1 cup of jasmine rice, and I'm going to take 2.5 I'm going to take 2.5 cups of water, and I'm going to add it to the rice. I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. I'm going to take a tablespoon of butter. Then I'm going to turn on this heat to high. Then I'm going to place this lid on top of here, and I'm going to let that come to a boil. We'll get back with you. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add. We have to add into the jalapeno peppers. I chopped up some jalapeno peppers. We're going to add that in there. Now I'm going to put the top back on and let it come to a boil. We'll get back to you. Me and Irene's back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some canola oil to that pan, to that frying pan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to set this on 7, and I'm going to get my oil up to temp. We'll get back with you. Go. The next step is now this rice has come to a boil. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce this heat all the way down to low. I'm going to put this top back on here, and I'm going to let that rice simmer for 20 to 25 minutes. We're back. I've gotten this oil up to temp, so what I'm going to do now is I need to take these pork steaks and I need to dust them in a little bit of flour. And then what I need to do is I need to put them in this skillet, and I'm not trying to cook them all the way through. I'm just trying to get a little color on them. So I'm going to probably cook them for like 2 minutes on each side. When it cooks on this side, then I'm going to flip it after 2 minutes, and I'm going to let it cook on that one for 2 minutes. And once I get some color on the side, I'm going to set them to the side, and then I'm going to show you the next step. This first one that I'm doing has gotten some good color on it. So now what I'm going to do is I've cooked it on both sides for like, you can do it 2 minutes on each side would be good. I'm going to set it on this on this cookie sheet. I almost called it a frying pan. I'm going to set it on this cookie sheet, and I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some color on the rest of those pork steaks, and then I'll get back with you. I'm done cooking, getting some color on those pork steaks, and I transferred some of that grease that I had from cooking the pork steak, and it still got particles and stuff in it and bits of flour. All that is good stuff. All that has seasoning and flavor in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of my onions. I'm going to add some of my onions in there. And I'm going to saute these onions a little bit. I'm going to make sure my temperature is at the right temperature. I'm going to saute these in this oil. Remember, this oil has bits of flour in it. It has seasoning in it. And this stuff is good. I'm going to saute these onions down a little bit more and I'll get back to you. We're back. What I've done is I've sauteed these onions for about 2 or 3 minutes. What I'm going to do now is that flour that I had earlier that I used to season the meat, I'm going to add in a couple spoonfuls. And I'm going to mix it around. Now what I'm doing now, if I forgot to mention, is I'm making some homemade gravy. I'm making some homemade onion gravy. Now, some people will want to use, different kind of onions besides red onions. I just love red onions. Me and Irene love red onions. So instead of using white onions, I use red onions. So you want to make sure that you get all that flour cooked off in there so that you don't have that flour taste. I think I might add me one more dash of flour in there. Just one more dash. There was also some flour in the pork chops.
Pork steak, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Irene's right. There was pork steak. Okay, so we done worked that in there. Get all that flour worked in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start adding some water. A little at a time. See how it starts to thicken up? Now we got to add a little more. And we're going to keep combining this water. We're going to keep stirring. And we're going to keep combining this water. Now we don't want it too thick and we don't want it too thin. We're going to keep combining this water.
So if you add too much water, you could always add more flour?
Yeah, I guess you could do that. You could do that.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, you could do that. Add a little more water. So remember those pork steaks that we're going to add to this gravy. Those have flour on it too. So you may not have to add more flour if you add too much water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep adding water, because when those pork steaks get put in there and they start to simmer, it's going to
finish cooking them off.
Yeah, well, it's going to finish cooking them off, but it also is going to make this gravy thicken more, because those pork steaks have flour on them. So it may seem thin right here, but that residual flour from the pork steaks, I think I'm going to add one more cup of water so I can get it to the right consistency. Like I said, I don't want it too thick and I don't want it too thin, but once I add those pork steaks, then this will thicken up. We'll get back to you in 1 second.
Yeah.
We're back, and I got that to the consistency that I want for right now. So now I'm going to start adding in these pork steaks. And I'm going to get those in to the gravy. And I'm going to try to submerge them as best I can into this gravy, because they're going to continue cooking in this gravy. And what I might have to do, because like I said, that residual flour that was on those pork steaks, I'm going to add just a little bit more water. So we can get them all under there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your top and you're going to put it on top, and you're going to set your heat to bring it up to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, I'll get back with you. Now I'm going to take this top off, and you can see that it's starting to boil. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my top, I'm going to put it back on there, and I'm going to turn my heat down to low, and I'm going to let those simmer for about 30 minutes. I'll get back to you. In this pan, we have our finished sweet peas with red onions in them. And in the back here, our jalapeno rice is done. So now we're just going to wait on those pork steaks to continue to simmer for 30 minutes. See you. We're at the end here, and we're back. And right now, like I had said before, the rice is done. When I cook this rice, I just added the jalapenos and the garlic. I didn't season the rice because I knew that we were going to put the gravy over the rice. But if you want to season your rice, whatever seasonings, you can do that. The peas are done, and I did put up some cut up pieces of red onion in there. I added a little bit of butter, and I added some seasonings, some Cajun seasonings. And then over here we got the coup de grace. The pork steaks are done, and as you can see, that gravy did thicken up, and it thickened up to the consistency I wanted it to. Obviously, if the more flour you add, the more water you add, you just have to make sure that you get the gravy to the right consistency that you want. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plate up, and we'll be right back. Here is the finished product. As you can see, there's 2 bottles of hot sauce there. Irene likes Tabasco. I like Tabasco too, but I will use Crystal. This is the finished product, and we thank you for watching, and we see you again.
Thank you.